Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realnesss with three S's. I am your host here, Chantele Francis. Here with my lovely co-host, we have
Brazil.
Hi, Brazil.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. And if this is your first time on Reality Realnesss, well, then make sure you subscribe right down below. We are all about reality television. And hopefully, if we find some out, all the gossip that's going to be going along with it. So today on our live chat, we are talking about Love Island, Season 2, US version, Episode 9, if I'm not mistaken. You don't really remember what the episode was because you watched it like 24 hours ago. But do you remember your overall thoughts or? No?
No, I mean, it left me with the panicked feeling of having to vote at the end, other than.
That's all you remember?
Yeah.
Well, it started with Justine, and just reminding us of Justine's major decision. Are you still shook? Well, not her decision, but her stirring things up and being chosen by Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, I still was not expecting that whatsoever.
Right? It's kind of like, I still right now don't believe it because I was watching this episode more recently than you, and I just was like, I still don't, I know we were talking about yesterday, I still don't feel that she did the right thing. I've been seeing on a lot of chats online that people are like, yeah, girl power, go Justine, you do what you want to do and you get your man or whatever. But I don't really feel the same way. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but what do you think about this sentiment that people are really supporting her in this decision, or how she went about this decision?
I mean, I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have at least talked to Rachel ahead of time, and probably Trey also, but just because I would want that to be done in my favor, so I probably wouldn't have done it that way. But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah, it was a pretty big decision for Caleb to have to make as well, considering he's been in the villa for a day and a half, and then he has to make this major decision. But one thing that he did state was that he didn't want to see Justine go home. He thought that she was beautiful. I don't know if he could use the word sexy, but I think she said she's hot or beautiful. And so it was nice though that he seemingly wants to pursue something with her. How do you feel about his intentions?
I mean, they seem okay so far. It doesn't really seem like he has his eye on anyone else in the villa, so.
Yeah, one thing, I guess it might just be how she does her flirting, but when she's even talking to him for the first time after the coupling, I just felt very uncomfortable. Most of it was a cringe for me. Definitely kind of mug off because it was she's yeah, you're just so hot and I'm so happy and you're smiling. Oh my God, you're so tall.
He said get used to it, I think.
Something like that. But I don't know, it didn't land. She wasn't saying anything wrong or bad, but how it was coming from my perspective, it didn't seem like her flirting was effective. I don't know. How'd you feel about it? Crack on?
It's the first time I've ever seen her flirt, so I thought it was a crack on that she was actually making effort finally, but I guess the style was a little eccentric.
Well, it's kind of maybe it's making me uncomfortable is because of the fact that she hasn't been doing it before, but it just seemed forced and it just didn't seem.
Yeah, it did seem a little forced. She was okay, I made my bed. Let's go lie in it.
I want the best for her. I want the best for everybody in this villa. You know this. Maybe except, well, no, I want the best for everybody in this villa. But I don't think that they're going to do very well. I looked up their astrology signs, and Caleb's an Aquarius. Caleb is most likely not going to vibe with Justine's stuff. Now, from me being Aquarius, how I feel about Pisces because they're emotional. So, hey, Chiquan. So they're emotional. And Aquarius people just kind of usually move away from people that are kind of emotional in that way. And so Caleb kind of is coming off as super cool and kind of aloof. And she might not be able to understand that characteristic of his because her love language is just going to be a little bit different. She's probably going to prefer like words of affirmation and like maybe physical affection. And it's just not really his style. Like Aquarius in general likes mental stimulation. They like talking about things. They like laughing about things. They like notes and they like interesting things to stimulate their mind. Like that's what gets them, roped in. And so I just don't know if they're going to be compatible that way. He should have maybe stayed with Rachel, who was also an Aquarius.
Oh, she was?
Yes. And now I understand her matter of factness because that's like me. Like, I'm not necessarily like all mushy, lovey. I'm just a little bit more like just the facts, ma'am. No need for tears. Let's go. I just get clear. You don't have to give me all this extra fluff. Like, I want specifics, So now I get her style. She's just Aquarius. Okay. Is this Jonathan kind of call me? What? Walking the dog. I can join if you're still doing it. Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Is he coming on?
He's just walking the dog. Come on. After. Okay. So yeah. So I think that he should have definitely stayed with Rachel if for a better connection. I don't know if this is going to work out in their favor, unfortunately. But I'm gonna be excited to watch them try. So we see Sally and Justine, and I thought this was a really cute moment. Do you think this was a crack on or mug off when they're kind of like talking about the final scene? And they're really good friends, and I like their vibes together. She's definitely team Justine, Sally. And so she, one thing that Sally said was like, "Oh my God, I even told Johnny that if you were the one to leave, I was going to go leave with you."
Yeah, I know. And she's like, yeah, I sat down and I was like, my girl's going home.
Right? Taekwon's has a question for us. So how'd y'all vote? Because on Instagram, I've been seeing people vote for their favorite islanders.
Come on, Jaquan, you know who I voted for. I voted for my main man.
How? He said how. So it's on the Love Island app.
Oh, how? I thought he meant like who did we vote for?
How on the app. And I missed the cutoff time, unfortunately. But I would have voted for Sally and Johnny. Like, that's who I would have voted for sure.
That's who I
voted all. Who would you have voted for, Jaquan? That's the question. Yeah, so also though with that too is that I think that everybody thought that Justine was going to be the one going. So it wasn't even just like the audience. Like I think it was a surprise on him that he made that decision to keep Justine.
I mean, they were all crying.
They were all crying. The announcer's getting a little bit better.
No, that's one thing I thought, like in the episode, that he was actually pretty funny.
One thing that I wrote down that he said, speaking about Trey, he's like, Fedora the Explorer.
I died at that.
I was like, yup. So
I couldn't tell what he said at first, but once I saw the caption come on, I was like, oh my God.
So he's kind of Trey's kind of in high spirits because he's with Lauren right now. What do you think, just like your initial thoughts of this coupling?
Forced, but I mean, I'm sure they'll like cuddle and maybe kiss here and there, but
yeah, I don't feel the vibe personally. Yeah, even when they had that little chat together, they were kind of like, yeah, we're just gonna go with the flow. Yeah, like she just wasn't really giving him anything, being like, I really want to get into you, like I'm really into you. She definitely seems open, obviously, to giving it a go, giving it a try, but I don't know if I see things progressing, and we'll find out throughout the episode as to why it most likely will not be happening, which I think is actually really funny. So Kirsten Carrington, so they have a little bit of a chat, and they kind of really establish that they're not on the same page. Like Kirsten's pretty much all in, and Carrington is like, I'm not all in, but I want it to still be open to be exploring new people potentially. What do you think about this decision of, or this, stance of Carrington's?
I mean, not confusing, because I feel like that's how he is in the outside world too. But I feel like if he's going to take anything from the villa, he's got to change, like, how he thinks about things, and kind of let himself be all in, because I don't think he ever does. So
True. Very true. And like, I don't know, I feel bad a little bit for Kirsten, but she's still a little bit guarded. And I know that, like, if you don't want to get your heart broken, like, you're going to be a bit guarded, and he's not really being the one to make it a safe ground for her to be open. But I think that's where they're not meeting in the middle effectively, because they both, I think that she's not being enough for him to have that like spark and be like, oh my God, I'm so into her. But she's like, oh, I'm going to hold back because he's not into me. You know what I mean? So
I'm Team Kirsten though. Like in this situation, like I at least like that she's telling him that she's all in, because then he can never question it or think.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I agree with you. I'm Team Kirsten. She is doing more of the opening up, but I think that she needs to kind of give it a little bit more in this particular situation, and he has to be open a little bit more as well in this situation. Are you for hot dogs or hot sauce? Do you remember?
He's like, why do they smell like hot dogs? And she's like,
I didn't know what was going on though. I was like, is this a joke?
I didn't either.
What's happening? I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, is this like some weird perverted joke? Like
I was so confused. And then she's like, no, I think that's sauce. Yeah, that was weird.
I definitely thought that was funny.
But I like it because that was like a real convo. Like,
so Mackenzie and Kirsten are talking. There's a lot of people like having like side conversations. So like I have a lot written down. I'm trying to remember what we're talking about, like as I'm rereading what I wrote. So Mackenzie and Kirsten were having a chat, and they're talking about Lauren and about how Lauren kind of made it seem as though Connor didn't necessarily say the same things to Lauren as he did to Mackenzie, which we know very well is true, that he was kind of saying like, oh, I'm interested in you, Lauren, and I would be open to maybe exploring something with you. But then to Mackenzie, he asked her to be his girlfriend. So, I mean, it's starting to come out, but like, why? Like, Mackenzie needs to like see the signs here. Like, as much as, yes, Connor is saying this, that, and the other, like, if somebody keeps on consistently talking about your boyfriend, and even if you look at like, oh, why would America not want us to be together? Like, there's something that isn't lining up. People are telling me, Trey's told me now that like I might come across as too controlling. Rachel has said the same thing. You know, he has to write on a cell phone like some words to say to you to like try to get his thoughts across. Like, there's just a lot of signs that he has difficulty communicating fully to you. And it seems as though just by sealing it with like a hug and a kiss, you feel like everything is actually kind of okay. And I think that she should feel as though things are not okay. I don't know. How would you kind of take all these info?
I would be reading the visual cues first, and like, you know, how he's so wishy-washy. Like, I think, was it this episode? No, it was the last episode that he like asked her to be his girlfriend, and then when they woke up, he was like, I need space today. Mm-hmm. I immediately would have been like,
exactly, like, girl, like.
So she's not seeing, she doesn't want to see it.
Absolutely. And like Connor is very attractive. She does have a seemingly quite low self-esteem. I think she feels as though how she's acting is the way she's supposed to act because she cares about somebody. But I think she doesn't realize that it's actually kind of toxic and pushing him away. I don't even know if she would be able to change, because it just seems like there's like a weird desperation in her being defined by this relationship, and defined like she just like, as soon as she saw him, I love you, like, we're in it all together, we're boyfriend girlfriend, working, we're falling in love. Like, whoa, really? Like, did you ask him if you're falling in love? Like, I don't know. He needs to hold back. But she said that she doesn't want to feel like Tom Fool. Or the town fool. Sorry, Tom. I like tomfoolery. No, the town fool. And I was like, man, you should feel like the town fool and get out of this relationship or figure out what you're doing wrong within it, because America is not going to make you feel any better, because you're going to consistently be on the bottom. It's just inevitable.
And once America voted that way too, I would have immediately been like reassessing everything.
And not, they're gonna need to have like a Twitter game soon. She's gonna figure it out, big time, and they're gonna have a big fight. It's gonna be really annoying. So obviously Mackenzie's gonna pull Connor over. Was this the time when? I think it was when he was talking to Lauren.
Yeah, they were talking like in like that middle like dressing room area, like where the closets are. And she's like, "Can I grab you for a sec?"
And he's like, "1 second, I'm talking." And she's like, "Can I talk to you for a sec?" And he's like, just obviously whipped, and just like gets up and goes and talks to her. And he did a little bit admit that he was acting that way and that he did hold her hand. So that, I thought that was good, that he at least was a little bit honest in that moment. And then it took a lot for her to kind of swallow her pride there and like not blow up and be angry about it. But I feel like she's just like, it's just gonna start bubbling and boiling over. Like she can't handle this. I don't think she can handle this game show.
No, absolutely not. I was waiting for her to blow up.
I know that producers think that this is good TV, but I think that this is actually not good for her mental stability. Like, I think that this environment is going to break her, especially with these audience votes. And like, what if like they split up the couple and then like they have to stay in together, and then she sends him on a date or something? Like, she is going to go bananas. Like, I don't know if she's ever watched the show before, but if they don't like a couple, they are pretty ruthless to them. You know what I mean? They make them do shitty things. They break them up. They put them with other people. Like, the new girl that's going to come in is going to want to date Connor. And
I bet they have alternates lined up depending on like which couple's doing poorly. So if like there's, you know, if Connor and Mackenzie are doing poorly, they're going to put a girl in there that really wants Connor, or, you know, something like that. So.
Or they just tell them, like, hey, in your little video promo, to say that you're coming in.
That you're for Connor.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, this is definitely going to be a crack on in your book. What moment do you think I'm talking about is 100% crack on?
Wait, say that again?
What moment that happened do you think is 100% crack on?
For this episode?
Yeah. Give me clues.
Oh, Johnny and Sally's manicure.
Yeah, they're so cute. Didn't you want to be Sally in that moment? Like, he's actually painting her fingernails and doing like a decent job. He's like, I think I need a second coat on there. Like, stop.
I know. And then he was like, "Oh, what would you say if?" Or he's like, "She's like, let's have nail or like salon talk or something."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What does that consist of?" She's like, "You know, you asked me if I have a boyfriend, like how things are going in life." He's like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" She's like, "No."
I mean, I think that also is going to, you know, put a little bit of the fire underneath his butt to maybe ask her. I thought that maybe that was going to be the moment. Maybe that's what she's trying to make happen. But I don't know. Regardless of how they have handled both of it, they are definitely
making fun of his lavender do-rag.
This guy with his lavender do-rag.
Yeah.
Why does this mean that you're team Johnny and Sally as well? I'm assuming so. I don't think anybody could not be. I feel like on all the polls on like Twitter and stuff like that have been like team Johnny Sally for sure. That's probably why his ex-girlfriend started dropping that stuff, because like she's probably a little bit jealous that her man or ex-man, the guy that she let go, is finding
jelly of Sally.
Jelly of Sally. So Mackenzie and Connor have another conversation in the kitchen. Yeah, I remember this. And like they kind of chat and just like they just have so many conversations that they seem to be resolved, but they don't actually resolve anything. Do you remember this conversation? No. So basically he's just like, I hope that you're going to be completely honest with me and like, like you're not going to, the usual stuff that they keep on talking about. It's just kind of like annoying that she does give him a lot of opportunity to say his truth. She does.
Yeah.
Like what he just needs to say to her, I don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend right now. I want to take it a lot slower. And I don't want you to question every single thing I do.
That's it.
That's it. A blog said that Mora's knee popped when she got a text and did a dance move. Oh, like a one, like, Papa. That's not true.
That's embarrassing. Why didn't they show that? That's like the most epic. Like, I got a text. Bam.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. Maybe it's too embarrassing. Maybe they asked her if they can use it. Because maybe you're not allowed to disclose medical information, maybe?
Yeah, and she didn't give her permission
for that? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I probably don't know. I don't know if I would either. She was probably in a lot of pain right after. And
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was like screaming pain. Like knee popping stuff is like usually a loud sound that's really uncomfortable. Like,
but then this episode, she was walking on her own.
She still had the brace though, no?
At one point, yeah, but then she didn't, like when she was in the hot tub, and then she was like walking without it. So it couldn't have popped that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
if you tear your ACL, you have a brace on and you're on crutches for like
a year,
forever. Yeah.
Oh my god, like that happened once in ballet class that she heard the pop and it was
I've heard it and it's the gnarliest sound because it's nothing good.
Well, and this was in ballet class that it happened, and so we're all dancers, and like we knew that she was never going to dance again. Bad. It was bad. The sound is really gross.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next little part is what I was saying before, was the reasoning why I do not think that Trey and Lauren are going to work out. What is this moment? Is it a crack on and crack off or mug off? What is it?
I'm trying to remember.
Come on, you got this. What could be the most important thing that you could know up to this point as to why Trey and Lauren will most likely not be able to make it as a couple?
Why can I not remember?
Think about things that the couples do. As soon as you become a new couple, you're going to learn a lot of new things about each other, especially
like your hit list.
No. Oh. Okay, what's the first thing that happens when two new people in the villa couple up? Mm-hmm. What's the next thing that happens?
They kiss?
No. Okay, they kiss, they sit down, and then at night, what happens?
Oh, he's snoring. He's snoring.
Jeez Louise, girl. Like, I'm going to snore for you to figure it out? Like,
oh, yeah. No, and she was like there, I think she's like fuck my life.
But like nobody said anything before. Like Justine never said anything. I didn't notice it before. Maybe because it wasn't part of the storyline, but like
yeah, that was bad.
I mean, also though, he was lying on his back. If you lie on your back, you're obviously more likely to snore. So in those times, just push the person onto their side and they will most likely stop snoring unless they have like a deviated septum. But like,
get him a CPAP.
Yeah, well, imagine him be like, is that better than snoring? That freaking machine.
Super hot.
It's so loud, I think.
I know, they have a few like that are just nasal and they actually don't look that bad and they're very quiet. Like had a few patients bring those in. But for the most part you look like Bane from Batman.
I mean, I wish she did tell Trey this because like I think Trey thinks he has so much swagger right now and she's probably just like
Oh no, yeah. She was laying there awake, like so frustrated.
So Kirsten and Carrington, Mackenzie and Connor, they're all kind of having a little bit of chit chat. They weren't really talking about anything specific. This was the next morning. And then Kirsten gets a text, and the text is to go on a little date-a-roo. Hashtag giddy up, hashtag horseplay. What did you think of this date? Crack on? Mug off?
The entire day, or the fact that it was Kirsten and Carrington?
I would say the date itself.
I would say 90% crack on, 10% mug off for their up until like their last cheers.
Actually, yeah, you're right. And I love their matching outfits, like black.
I know, it was cute, and I mean it took him out of his comfort zone. I mean, she calls him a city boy, but then says he's from Iowa or Utah, and I'm like, okay, the biggest city in Utah is probably what?
He's not like a Mennonite and rides horses to the grocery.
Yeah, like you're not that big of a city boy if you're from Utah. So, but she's from Austin, obviously. But I think before that, she grew up somewhere else in Texas. I'm not sure. But their conversation, though, about how she is a what do you call it at the club? She's like a
bottle service girl.
Yeah, like oh my god,
bottle service girl.
Bottle service, yeah. And how he was kind of saying that he doesn't think that he would do well in that environment because he knows himself. So I think that was like a fairly real conversation. But I remember their cheers being pretty cringy.
It was cringe. Jake Juan agrees with that. So the date started off okay until the end. Carrington still wanted to get to know other people. And like that, I was just like, man, that's cold. Like, freaking harsh, man.
I think she even said, she's like, does he not know how a cheers works?
Like, I was definitely cringe that moment. That moment at the end, I was like, Carrington, like, you're about to lose this girl. Especially because I don't know if it started the rumblings of it, but Trey starts talking about the fact that he has some interest in Kirsten. And he was, I know, right? Curious as to maybe how their date was going because of the fact that, like, you know, if it wasn't going well, like maybe he'd want to swoop in. And it seems as though maybe Carrington and Lauren might make a better couple. So this is what I'm feeling is going on, because that seems like what the narrative of the rest of the episode seems to be. There, this one.
But Trey and Kirsten aren't going to work out.
I mean, you never know. They might be a little bit more each other's vibe. But okay, so one thing I learned also that Kirsten's sign is Cancer. So that's why she's a little bit more like, I need you to tell me that you're into me. Like, I need you to I need some affection. I need some cuddling. Like, she's kind of like asking for those things because it's a water sign. It means it's emotional. That's how they feel loved, is by like knowing in those ways that's, you know, they're appreciated and cared for. And so definitely, what's his name? Sorry. Carrington is acting, I think it was a Gemini. Like a Gemini, they're usually really flirty. They're usually like want to get to know a lot of people. They're usually not very serious about things. And Cancers usually want to make a home and a family and have people be loving to them. Like, I don't know. So don't know if it's going to work. The other sign that I pulled up was Calvin. He's Capricorn. So him and Moira actually should be decent. Capricorns are not necessarily very romantic, but they're very loyal. So when they get into a relationship, they will put in the work for it to go long distance. They're driven in that way. So this could be why he didn't want to take it like snail's pace slow. She's a water sign, as you know, so she's going to want, you know, words of affirmation and like love and affection more so than he might. But they are more compatible, I would say, than Kirsten and Carrington. Carrington and Scorpio like is not the greatest combo either, though. So I don't know.
I know. I really didn't think.
Yeah, you did say that. So Jagon is saying that he was right about Trey and Kirsten.
I know, and I remember laughing at him in the beginning, but
I mean,
wait, Jaquan, when's your birthday?
Yeah, Jaquan. Can we decide on?
I know, maybe Jaquan and I should have a bet now.
A bet?
About whether or not Kirsten and Trey would work out.
Right? Okay, yeah. Maybe put some money on the line.
You want to lose, Jaquan? I forgot what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
Oh, no, but I think I judged Kirsten a lot in the beginning, but I am really starting to like her and really want her to stay in the villa, like, no matter what, just because I think she is there for the right reason. I mean, if I was her, I would not be. If Carrington was saying all of that to me, I would be out. But I admire her for still trying, because I think she knows that, like, I think she thinks that because he's opened up to her a little bit, that he will keep doing so. But
you're not emotional though. Sure, buddy.
What is he, Cancer?
Cancer, yeah.
Hey, welcome to the water club. She hates. I'm Pisces, so.
Well, okay, I have water in my chart. Both my parents are Cancers. My rising sign is Cancer, so that's what I'm learning to understand and learning to be. So I'm not very emotional, but that's what I'm learning to become: more empathetic, more have more sympathy, have a little bit more emotional, depth. So it's not what comes natural to me. Like, as an actor, like, I work as an actor as well, and in that realm, I'm actually have a lot of access to emotion, but I'm not really emotional over things. Like, I can move on from things really quickly. I can connect emotionally. Like, if something on a TV show, like, makes me sad, or like a really touching commercial, like, I can have emotional access that way. But like, some of these scenarios, like, I'm not going to be emotional about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need someone to like hug me for me to feel as though they care about me, you know? So you're not emotional though. Sure.
Welcome to the club, Jaquan.
Sure. I mean, you wouldn't be watching Love Island. I'm just kidding. So what do you think of this moment? So Lauren and Sally in the pool, they're kind of holding hands on the pool floaties. Do you think that this is a real, like, friendship? It seemed to me like they were really, they do vibe with you.
I think Sally just kind of vibes with everyone and kind of tries to, from what I've seen, kind of tries to make everyone either see their full potential, or she just loves the drama. I don't know. But I think what she was saying is right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether or not her and Kirsten are, like, great friends, I don't think it was wrong. I don't think like what she said was wrong, like, towards Kirsten. It's the truth. And like, they set up those dates to either like make or break you, or like to have those conversations. So.
And Lauren said that she is still interested in, Carrington. So I do feel like this is what's going to happen next. Maybe with the bottom couples, depending on who they are, maybe they're going to do a little swap-a-roo, or they're both on the chopping block, or I don't know. Something they might.
I know, I'd be so sad if Kirsten went, though.
I don't think she's going to leave. I think that it might be like maybe Lauren and Carrington leave, and she's stuck with Trey and her as a couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something
like that, maybe.
Yeah, that's the way you're setting it up anyway. So
they're setting it up definitely for those four people to have a little bit of a love quadrant. What's happening here? I think that until Kirsten sees the signs Carrington's not that invested, she won't change it up. She seems loyal to the fault. Yes, Cancers definitely are very loyal, especially with their emotional connections. They will, keep that. They're not going to let that go very easily. But when they do let it go, it'll be most likely done for good. They don't necessarily like to go back and forth. Usually, who knows? Sally and Johnny have another conversation about what they were looking for. What do you think about this conversation? They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, hearts and butterflies, love them." Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much.
Always.
Well, I mean, they kind of she reinforced again that she was dating him is different than all the people that she's been dating before in the past, and like she was saying before, it was more so opposites attract. I think it's like she probably was just always the showpiece and always having the fun for the relationship, and maybe being like, the make things happen and let's do this and let's do that, and like I think she's probably feeling more of an equal in how much effort is being put in the relationship.
Uh-huh.
So I think that she's really enjoying the fact that it seems like he's pursuing her in a way that she's vibing with, which I love that. Because
I know, they just seem so compatible. I don't know.
And like even like with their like little kisses, like they kiss like they're a couple. You know what I mean?
Like, they have really good banter.
They have good banter. I don't cringe. Like I feel like he likes everything that she does. You know what I mean? Like,
and he likes how confident she is in herself and them as a couple. So, I mean, how can you not like that?
And he says, I'm a one-woman man and I'm all about you. Oh my God, is that a crack on or what?
It's the definition of crack on.
That's like what you want a guy to say to you. It's like, I don't want anybody else. I only want you. I
would be more heartbroken than Sally if he ends up picking someone else.
I really think that he's smart enough to know that he absolutely cannot do that unless he wants to be demolished in his real life. I think that, if maybe he came onto the show with ulterior motives and potentially, and maybe they had something with his ex-girlfriend, or like, I don't know what that whole drama is. Who knows? But maybe he just came on as like, I doubt I'm going to find anybody that I really care about, but like maybe I can, make a partner and get to the end and win 50 or 100 grand or whatever the prize is. And then he met Sally, and I think that he actually likes her. If he goes back on this, like Casa Amor, I like Johnny. You better be good, Johnny. Be good.
We know Virginia's not a big state. We will find you.
We will find you, and like you are very particular looking, so we will find you.
Very particular looking.
I'm going to do like Google Maps, like recognition for all your posts.
Yep.
Got you.
We just have to message his ex-girlfriend. She'll give us the address, the P.O. box, whatever we need.
Probably. But you know what, though? Like, we could probably even slide into his DMs if he's that type of guy and, like, just go and meet up. Where is Virginia in the States? I don't know the map.
Oh, right. You're asking the wrong person, but I only know where it is.
I know your own country. I can't live with this.
It's East Coast. It's either right above, I think it's right above North Carolina.
Okay. So it's like at the bottom would be Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, then
something. It's like right in the middle of the state, like the middle, but on the very East Coast, on the border.
Okay. I understand where that is. What's above it? Do you know?
Oh fuck no idea.
Get out of here, Jaquan. Do you know anything about the United States map?
I'm telling you, I moved around so much as a kid. The one class I missed every year was geography. I used to call it geology. That's how little I knew about it.
So, oh my God. So yeah, we were just talking about this. So a guy needs to come that wants just Sally so they can get more ready for custom more. That's true. I don't know if they're going to test Sally.
It won't work.
The test would be Casa more for the most part. Just because I think that Sally will be nice, but I know that I can tell that she has only eyes for Johnny right now. And for me, when I start liking somebody, I don't really see anybody else. Like I don't really vibe with anybody else. I'm just not interested. And so I think that maybe cast them more because they'd have to spend like a very long period of time with these people. Like I think it's like a whole week, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe there's potential that things could shake things up, but I don't think that they're going to send somebody in for Sally. Like maybe they'll send somebody in for Mackenzie. Maybe.
Someone for Connor.
I don't know if they would do that to her again already. That's savage.
True.
I think
it's gonna, I don't know.
I agree with you, Jaquan. They got past the first hurdle, which is Lauren. Absolutely. Because Lauren came for Johnny. Like he was one of the people.
If Johnny would have given her anything, she would have kept going for it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I think that she also likes Selly and likes how mature she was in how she was like, you know what, like this is part of the game. Like go and have the date. Like I'm not going to make you feel awkward for something.
And even if Selly doesn't really like Lauren, she's being very smart about it by befriending her.
Yes.
That way, Lauren's less likely to keep going for Johnny.
Unless you're Justine. So some of the chats were saying like that they thought that Rachel was being like out of line by ending their friendship over this because she knew what show she was signing up on. I didn't agree with that at all. I know you don't, but
no, I don't.
Shitty people.
I don't blame. I felt bad for Rachel. I liked Justine a lot, but I did feel bad for Rachel. She had no idea it was coming.
It's just really embarrassing.
Respect thing, like,
and rude, and
yeah.
I show and everybody for themselves. Just let her know that you're going in to maybe potentially take.
So she can at least try to like go for Trey. Like if she would have let her know ahead of time, she's like, okay, I'll kiss Trey, you kiss Caleb.
It would have been interesting, like a surprise for both, like Trey, like be like, what?
Yeah.
And he was like Caleb, and he'd be like, what? Like I don't know, it could have been a double surprise. I don't know. I didn't like how Justine was just very excited about the move that she made. I just didn't think it was very good character wise, in my opinion. Fine, she did what she had to do to stay in the house and maybe potentially get a love relationship. You know, it's part of the game, but for what I value in people's integrity, it lost that for me still.
Yeah, like I would be always wondering if we were friends outside of the villa, like, is that how she would handle every other situation?
What do you think? Is this a crack on or a mug off? You look so worried.
I'm waiting for the feet to come.
Oh, it's not there yet. Not there yet. It's when Caleb and Calvin were in like that little kitchenette area and they were watching Selly and Johnny kissing, and they're like, "Oh, they make me sick."
I don't blame them. They make him sick because they're about to lose all that money.
Yeah, there's pretty much no shot for anybody at this point. Yeah.
Unless like Carrington ended up going full in on Kirsten, I could see people being like maybe, but I don't see any other couple like that's going to be able to.
They're going to do it up to them. The ranks of which Love Island UKs have you seen?
Which what?
Love Island UKs have you seen?
Which Love Island seasons have I seen?
Seasons have you seen?
Oh, I don't remember which numbers.
Oh. Well, just like some of the bona fides, like Danny and now I'm forgetting everybody's names. Danny and the guy, like there's some good bona fide couples that come out of these shows, and so I would love them to join like the Mount Rushmore of Love Island couples.
I was sad about Hannah and was it Hannah and Zach or Hannah and in UK, I think season 2 or 3.
Oh, season 1, Hannah and Jonathan.
Yeah, but they didn't last. I was sad.
He did last for a while, but then he became really controlling. He's also on The Only Way is Essex, so he probably got in a bit of his playboy ways. Like, you know, he makes a lot of money, and he started just taking for granted her. And I can't remember what the story was. This is probably like 5 years ago now, but he didn't invite her on a vacation, or there's some big drama. Like, read up on it. They had some big drama where she was like, I'm never speaking to him again. And
I liked them a lot.
Left her stranded in Spain, I think it was. Like, he left her.
Oh, shit.
Something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, so I was so sad because I loved them so much. Like, they had what I don't know if you remember, but they had a snotty nose kissing scene where he was like, I love you so much, I can't even believe that someone as gorgeous as you would ever be. She's just crying, and I'm like, I love you guys. And the announcer's always like, welcome to Jonathan.
Yeah, no, I that was the season that got me hooked on Love Island.
Well, it was 3 that I was watching, and then I went back and started watching 1. I was like, this is amazing. The Trey liking Kirsten reminds me of Lucy and Tommy situation from Love Island. Have you seen that season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like then Tommy ended up with Molly, and I think that they're still together to this day. So do you think that they're gonna have that same longevity, Jaquan, the Trey and Kirsten, as Tommy and Molly? I think that they're still going strong, posing for stuff, pretty little things. Anyways, what am I talking about here? Caleb and Justine, family something. What was I talking about?
He said that he likes that she values family a lot, and they seem to have like a lot of the same
Value.
like, values, yeah, like outside of the game, and that she's like seems really down to earth and she's funny and blah, 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 blah.
Do you see the spark yet?
Do I see the spark yet?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Me neither.
I mean, no. And I think even in bed, like she had her back completely towards him too. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was her.
I don't remember
her head.
Her. I would have taken note if like I saw them cuddling or something.
Yeah,
I definitely would have noticed something. I don't. I think her back was to him.
You said he's Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense then. I don't know. He seems to be.
What do you mean?
Talking her up more than she's talking him up. But again, the edit, they're not showing anything of them really. Like it's still nothing about Caleb.
What do you mean by talking her up?
Like he seems to be really into like her, like that conversation that right now that they were talking about. Like they seem to have like the same kind of values and whatnot.
But Aquarius people can talk, right?
They what?
They're talkers. They like speaking. They're like, you know, as opposed to showing affection, they will speak affection.
True.
Look at who we got here!
Wow! Look who made it.
Look who woke up today.
Hi. I woke up at like 2:45.
Well, we have Jonathan Oliveira here, and he wants to talk to us a little bit about Love Island. Okay, well, we're kind of midway through this episode, but so you watched it from the beginning. What's your origin story with Love Island in general? Tell me everything.
This is one of the ones, so I'm usually like competitive reality television viewing only. But Love Island's probably the only one that I've like watched every incarnation of kind of thing, and every like even just alternate versions of. And yeah, it started off with I think like Paradise Hotel. There was just something with the swapping and you know what I mean? Like back in the day, Paradise Hotel. Like,
did you watch Paradise Hotel and Temptation Island like OG series in like season?
Yeah, like OG. Like I was obsessed for some reason. So this is very much that vibe. So I've stuck to it, and I've been watching it.
Me too. So I know before you were saying that you think that these people are boring. I've been saying that I feel as though this season is leaps and bounds over season one. What are your thoughts?
I like season one because, you know what? I just found the people more memorable, instantly more memorable than everyone else. But people are growing on me this season. Having said that, it's I'm still leaning towards season one of it though. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I was comparing it immediately to the UK version.
UK, yeah.
And, you know, I just thought it was just not good. But I really have been enjoying this season a lot more. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, I'm invested in some of these couples already. And I wasn't invested in any couples last season at all. I didn't really care if they got together. I wasn't a big fan of Cashel. Like, I liked Kira, but like, she's okay. You know, I didn't really care for that many people.
Well, I feel like last season, to me anyway, it just seemed like people were going to stick together. It was just a lot more predictable than necessarily, or like even when they weren't going to, like it's just way more predictable than this season, which I mean, I've been a little surprised with kind of people's choices and how they're feeling and just kind of mixing it all up. So it is a little bit more surprising in that regard.
So the most recent episode started with the aftermath of Justine being chosen by Caleb. Is that one of the surprise moments that you're speaking of? How did you feel about this new coupling?
Yeah, I thought Justine was like on her way out a while ago, and and then it was kind of like, okay, and I just feel like maybe people are being more honest with themselves or honest with other people. I don't really know, but I'm liking the little mix-ups and shake-ups and surprises in that regard. So yeah, I do like Justine a lot though.
So out of all the couples then, what are your top 2 favorite couples?
My favorite couples. Okay, first of all, I have a hard time with names, but like let's go with like the ones that are together. Can I say Moira and like James? Is it James?
Oh, James.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a watch?
Like before she started hating him. Yeah.
You got the ick.
I just thought that they were cute together, and I mean, I don't know, for whatever reason I was like rooting them on. So I mean, they got me instantly. I was like, yeah, guys. And then that poolside talk where she's like, we're moving too fast. I was like, oh, it's over. I mean, there's no slowing it down, back it up. I'm like, when someone says that, I'm like, oh, she's done. She's like, how do I get out of this? And let's put it in reverse. And he's like, and then he just made it worse because he was just like over talking and just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm cool. I'm okay. What's going on? Oh, you can go on dates with us. Sure, it's fine. And it was just a nightmare. It was a train wreck, and I enjoyed watching it. But
it's so uncomfortable though.
they're probably my favorite couple for all those reasons, the train wreck and all. Yeah, but I did feel bad.
Again, your second choice.
Oh,
pause while you think about it. So rumor has it that I think he removed his profile right now, but he was found like the night of that he was booted from the island. He was on Hinge, like right away.
Mean, they're in Vegas, right?
So Vegas isn't open right now, though. I don't think
it's open.
Like fully open, like Vegas open, or just like
my friends just went last weekend.
What?
Yeah, and it's right next to. I stayed at the Flamingo, so I used to kind of look right where they are, and so yeah, it's right in the heart of it, basically. Like I feel like that location's right in the middle of it, and he's probably enjoying his time in Vegas.
We were trying to figure out though where Dre's is, because like I know the strip pretty well.
So Flamingo, it's just to the left of it.
Yeah.
Which is essentially kind of like across from like Caesar's Palace.
Yeah. But like, but isn't the Flamingo right beside Harrah's and right beside Paris as well?
No. Paris is down the street. It's like if you have it kind of like splits off right there, and Paris is
where's Paris?
That's also nearby, but it's like down a bit too. So it's like, first of all, it's been 7 years since I've been there, but it's like down the street. I mean, everything's so walkable, right? Like
yeah.
It's like all within.
So fun.
It's, except for Old Vegas, you hop in a little cab, but you're there in no time whatsoever. But yeah, it's right beside it's literally to the left of the Flamingo, like right there.
I know where the Flamingo is.
Yeah, and I mean, how they transformed it, because I was just watching it on the Jersey Shore kind of new show that they have, Double Shot of Love with Vinny and.
I've seen it already, but yes.
Yeah, so their new season is at the Dre.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they stay there.
Season 2?
And they work there. Yeah, there's season 2 where it's not a competition anymore. It's just like they brought some of the girls back. They're there, and they brought some of the girls' friends back, like male friends. So it's like a whole group of people just staying in this like, phenomenal. I don't even know what to call it. It's huge, but I don't even want to call it a suite or anything because it's absolutely ginormous. And yeah, lots of drama, but it's kind of like, I feel like they made that dating show into like a Jersey Shore version for season 2, and they're working at Dre and Stainer. So it's I'm used to seeing it like that, and they've really transformed it for this show. So Love Island. So it's very interesting.
Well, we're definitely gonna have to take a look. Okay, so you had enough time to think. Who's your second favorite couple?
You know what? I think because you pointed Connor out to me like from the beginning. Although Connor, you're boring, but I mean, Connor, I don't know. I just want to like buy into like him a little bit more. So I haven't watched the latest episode. Is he still with
Oh,
what's his face?
yes, a little bit of drama, kind of.
Well,
Wait, when would the drama happen? Did it already happen?
oh,
Huh?
because yeah, it happened a few episodes ago where he was like he was like, yeah, okay, whatever, and then Mackenzie, is it Mackenzie?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So and then
He be his girlfriend after the fact, after you went on the date with Lauren. You've seen that part so far.
Yeah.
And then like everybody's telling her like, hey, you're being a little bit controlling, and she doesn't really see it, all that stuff. Well, a little bit more of that happened in this episode. It wasn't so much the focus, but Mackenzie did learn that Lauren was mentioning that they were holding hands, and he was a little more touchy-feely when they're on their date, and he was very different than he seemed to be acting when they got back to the villa. And so she did question him about this, and he did come clean with the fact that like, you know, they were a little bit more touchy-feely. He just didn't know how to tell her and didn't want to. And so they kind of, at this point, have made another little pact that they're always going to be honest with each other. That's kind of where they are.
I think they ranked so highly for me because of like the moments where she's like, yeah, we made it official. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. And then he's like, what? Like when other people were telling him that, he's like, no, it's yeah. So I mean, I just kind of love messes. If you're like a train wreck, you're gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, oh, you don't really care if they're actually in love. You want to see who's
No, I don't.
messiest on screen. Well, I'm, going
Sloppy.
against the grain here. I'm looking for the couples that are in love. So kind of where we are at in the episode is so Calvin and Moira have a little bit of conversation, and so Moira is telling Calvin that, she wants to go all in on him. She doesn't really have any eyes for anybody else. And Calvin says the exact wrong thing to say to somebody in that particular situation. He tells her that he's not on the same page and that he might want to see other people. What do you think about this, Brazil?
Shocked, but not really shocked, because like I said, I think last episode that they seem more to be like best friends rather than coupled up.
And he said,
so I don't know if either he wants to move slow or if he's just like,
though.
Huh?
He was like, I want to take it slow, and I was like, oh, because
how can it go much slower than that?
Like,
they're not cuddling, they're not doing anything.
Who's Calvin? Freckles?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing.
So you're on the same page as everybody here. Freckles apparently looks like Brazil's ex-boyfriend, and so she has memory, or a guy that she was seeing. Sorry, she's so mad.
I want a few days. I'll send Jonathan a picture after. You're gonna die. I'll send it right now, actually.
Yes. So here's the thing. Do we think that Moira's, because it happens to a lot of young people, I mean, it happens to people of all ages, but people, when they get what they want, they're not interested anymore. And when it's something that they can't get, there's that kind of like desire and like trying to, do we think Moira's fallen into that I haven't seen the latest episode, but is she like all in on Calvin because she's like pushing back, but when she got James, she was like, I'm over this.
It didn't seem like that to me. It seems like she's genuinely hurt by the fact that he's not really reciprocating this. And it seems as though she's like probably going to take a step back. I don't think it's that dynamic that you're kind of speaking of. I was mentioning this the last episode about Justine might have that vibe or that energy where it's kind of like she wasn't really that interested in Caleb until like her friend Rachel was interested in Caleb. Right. And like sudden like, oh, now he's like the hot trinket that she was interested in it. And it wasn't until her friend showed interest in Caleb that all of a sudden she's attracted to him. And so I haven't seen that personally with Moira and Calvin. What do you have a thought about it, Brazil? No. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. They just seem like they never seem to really move.
They didn't seem like they fit well together, just chemistry wise, right from the get go to me anyway. So
yeah,
agreed.
Same.
So it's funny how Moira was mad at James for trying to move too fast, but she's trying to move fast with Caleb.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She's not actually trying to move too fast though. Like I think that she, has her leg over his leg, and is kind of like maybe looking a little more flirty, endearing into his eyes, maybe wanting a kiss. But Calvin has already been saying like, I don't like PDA, I don't like affection, and I think that that's a hard I'm not that into you, because you don't really decide like, ooh, I don't want to have show affection in public. Usually you're going to be doing that because like, oh, if somebody comes into the villa, I don't want them to think that I'm yours. You know what I mean? Like I want to still appear to be available. So I don't want you to be marking your territory here because I'm not that into you. Is how I'm taking it right now.
All right. Brazil, I got your photo, and
different hair, but
they're like twins.
Should I bring me up the other night?
Crazy.
Brazil? Just kidding. You might not want to be part of the podcast with this. What is he saying? Jaquan is saying Calvin chose to get to know Moira to get in the villa. You're not wrong here, Jaquan. I do feel as though he might have chosen the person that would most likely say yes to him.
Yeah.
To get into the villa.
I think there's a lot of that. I think people go in and they're like, I've been watching you, and they know exactly where the potential cracks are and where they can kind of have their little, and it's not necessarily for time on TV, although some of it is, I'm sure, but it's just like they want to enjoy themselves and they know how they can stay there longer. And even if they don't know if they'll like someone, they definitely know who they can kind of target to break up to get that opportunity to stay there longer and have that potential even. So
yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure like we were talking about it earlier, this episode was like the producers might be like, hey, go for Moira.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure that they're getting heavily suggestions from the producers as to who they're going to go in and do.
Oh, I would guarantee it, because if everyone just stays in the same couple and all the new people come and go, without being able to stay longer, that's boring. And they don't have a show.
Well, I mean, but they can't all be bona fide couples like Johnny and Sally, In case you didn't know, Jonathan, that's our favorite couple, and don't you come for me, okay?
Here, she's probably my favorite girl, to be honest with you. Like individually. I actually just like her personality. I like watching her. I think she's really kind of pops on TV, and I look forward to scenes with her and stuff like that. So that is probably someone that I do enjoy, or them as a couple. I do enjoy kind of like, it being more genuine, and I'm probably rooting for them, like not being train wrecks and being like actually together. So I'm on board with that.
Yay, we're Team Sally over here. So next up, we have Moira talking to Justine, the two Pisces, watery Pisces that seem to have no game either of them. It's really funny. And so Moira is kind of expressing the fact that they don't flirt. Her and Calvin don't flirt. They don't have that kind of banter. They don't have, and I'm just like, Moira, he's just not that into you. Like, she just needs to figure it out and start moving on.
What other cues you need?
Yeah, like, no, I want
to cut to the night vision camera of them laying in bed facing opposite directions.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I'm wondering though, are they going to bring in a couple more guys next round, or do you think it's going to be, because they just brought Lauren in, it was just one girl. What do you think they'll do next?
Maybe one guy. No, I don't know.
Guy and a girl? That's
I was going to say, yeah, maybe one guy, one girl, but I don't think that, no.
Thoughts, Jonathan?
They obviously have like a pool of people in waiting, and so I feel like I feel like they alter it based on the dynamic of what's happening and what they want and the producers want to happen. So it's like, if they see that there is, you know, a lot of people who are, you know, uncertain, then they might bring in one person to tempt them all. But if there is a bunch of people who are closer together, I feel like they would bring in a bunch of people to really kind of try to stir it up. So I could even see them being like, let's do 3 and see what happens.
The triplets.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done twins before. You never know. Never know. So Trey was actually even talking to Carrington about the date and how the date went. And it's like, so was it the best date of your life? And just like, Carrington was just like hard no. So Carrington and Kirsten went on like a horseback riding date, and she really enjoyed it. She said it was kind of like how she grew up. And that Carrington apparently is a city boy. We're commenting on the fact that he's from, where is he from? Utah. So like, how can he be a city boy? It's kind of an oxymoron. But he just gave a hard no for was the best date of your life. And so I do feel that this is the beginning of the end to Kirsten and Carrington. And this is what we're thinking, Jonathan, is that Lauren is still interested in Carrington. So like Lauren's going to swoop in and go for Carrington, and Trey has been expressing interest in Lauren and Kirsten. What do you think about that couple switch up?
Okay, these are so many names, so I'm pulling up the cast list.
I don't know who these people are. Lauren is the people that came
That's
in.
what I'm saying. Last season, I knew who everyone was, and this season, I'm like, what is your name? I don't know it.
Well, I know everybody's name very well. I don't remember anybody from last season.
Okay, Carrington is with who right now?
Kirsten,
the bartender from Texas.
Who the heck is that? Carrington, I know.
She's a dancer. She's a bottle service girl, bartender from Austin, Texas.
She came in with Rachel.
She wears the oversized glasses.
Did you hear the joke they made about that?
No, I thought about that. I thought about you being like, yes, they do fall off her base. Brazil's been calling her out on it. She was asked on both dates by Calvin and Caleb.
Maybe how many episodes ago is this?
9.
9 episodes ago?
I think last night was 10.
Last night.
I think.
I probably didn't watch it. I don't know.
The date is the date you haven't seen, but you saw the double date when Calvin and Caleb came in, because Caleb, that's when Calvin and Moira dated for the first time. And then Calvin also picked Kirsten for a second date. And he was like, don't wait, Carrington, don't wait up.
Play it right now.
Yeah, play it right now. But I mean,
you know what? Keep talking. I'll watch as we go.
I don't know who these people are. Anyways, Carrington, hard no. And so yes, I guess like the conversation, he was saying the conversation wasn't really going the way that he thought it was going to go. And so I think that Carrington is worried that he's going to have to put on some big boy pants and break up with Kirsten, because it doesn't, I know he's saying to her that he still wants to be in a coupling with her, but I think that his head will turn in a second. And especially if Lauren, if he has, like, if Lauren gets the right of way to kind of enter in there, I feel like she's going to pounce. And Sally gave the vote of approval there too. She did. Who did I write that? Happy to be in their element. Who's that? What I'm talking about? Oh, I'm sorry, Kirsten talking about her side of the date. And it was probably Kirsten was saying that the conversation did not go the way that she was wanting it to. I think she obviously wanted him to be like, yes, I'm super into you, but instead he was like, I want to still see other people. Like, date sucked. It was okay. I didn't really like riding a horse. Boom. Okay, so they had a challenge. It was a pretty silly one. Okay, was it a crack on or mug off for this challenge in general, Brazil?
I think crack on. I think it was funny.
And I think it was called I'd Pop That.
Yeah.
And so Sally, Sally is definitely the host of the season. You know?
Yeah, like Sally and Johnny were the examples of like how to do it.
Yeah. And so she's like not narrating, but like explaining how the rules, and they're doing the first example. So this is the game, Jonathan. Basically,
Mhm.
they have two balloons, gigantic balloons attached to like their, I don't know, their belt loop on their back or something. And so you're in two teams and run up and you had to thrust and pop the balloons. And so whoever did it the fastest wins. Would this be something you're good at, Jonathan?
Little unknown fact, I'm terrified of balloons.
What?
So yeah, I am. I am. Heights and balloons. So I would not be partaking. They can do it themselves. No,
Sitting inside, like
I don't like balloons. I don't like balloons. Don't want to touch them. Don't want them near me. No,
is it
thank
the
you.
popping sound? Is it just the rubber feeling?
It's the I think it's the popping. Like visually, love balloons. 10 feet away, 15, 20 feet away balloons, fantastic. On
Like
TV,
balloons are like
great.
not in your
Do I
bubble?
love the movie Up? Wonderful. But do I want balloons anywhere near me? The answer is no. So, having said that, I do think I would do an okay job.
So wait, so balloons wouldn't be in your COVID bubble?
No, my COVID bubble is myself, my two cats, my dog, and that is pretty much it. And then TV. But no, I'm terrified of balloons. It's a thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's a thing.
Well, do you remember when it first happened? Like, when did you first realize you were terrified of balloons?
Oh God, he's telling my therapist. So it's it's I kind of remember being really young and being afraid to blow them up, that they were gonna pop and then stick in my throat. Um, yeah, just it's always been like it's always been.
You must have had a traumatic moment between the ages of 0 and 7.
You know
That
what? If you're afraid of balloons, comment so that I'm
yeah,
not the only crazy one.
Jaquan, are you afraid of balloons? And I think he's helping us with some interesting info. Yesterday was episode 9. Yes, we know that. The More to Love scenes is tonight, or is tonight Saturday? Yeah. Yeah, they kind
Yeah.
of choose shows. Yeah, no, Jonathan just is not up to date, and he doesn't know what shows he has seen or not. And so,
Yeah, I have 9 that I'm looking at right now. I have it on my TV as we
no, I
speak.
think he needs to see 8 is the one that
The car wash and
has the one with Rachel and Kirsten and them going on the dates with Caleb and Calvin, I think. Right, Brazil? What do you think?
I don't know, because on mine it says episode 10 was last night.
Oh, because I guess the first one was a double episode.
Yes, yeah.
Jaquan thinks they're going to bring in a guy and a girl, so he agrees with you.
That's why, my gut said that, but then I'm like, oh, I don't know. They've done that before.
At this point, it's kind of hard to have a second favorite couple. You don't think so,
Yeah.
Jaquan? Like
I was saying, if I don't see any other couple that I'm really jazzed for other than Sally and Johnny.
I mean, I think that I'm going to go with Jonathan here and kind of enjoy the train wreck of Mackenzie and Connor at this point, because it's just kind of like, do you think he's going to get out of the, is he going to be safe? Like, is he going to speak his truth? Like, it's kind of exciting to see whether he can escape Mackenzie's grasp.
she jumped all over him in episode 8 when he came back from that date with what's her face, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like, it was disturbing.
Yeah, that's what we said too.
We did get into a pretty deep conversation. That was it's a 2-hour episode that they probably counted as 2, Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
And so, yeah, when they came back and we're talking about it, and somebody commented about you started the conversation, I think, Brazil, being that she must have had a lot of things growing up, that maybe she was kind of an ugly duckling, and that maybe she doesn't really have high self-esteem, and that maybe she has been not treated that great in relationships, and so maybe we should cut her a little bit of slack here with how she's treating Connor, because she just wants to keep him. But I don't know if she's mentally stable enough to be on the show.
The hard thing too is we're talking about. I'm assuming these people are rather young. I don't know what their ages are, but pretty young. And when you're young, you're emotionally not developed enough that it's to have a lot of rational thought, and you have less experience overall. So it's really and then to be on TV and put in these situations that are manipulated by producers and whatnot. it's a tough situation to be in. So I mean, I don't hold any of that behavior against them, and I think it's I do chalk a lot of it up to their youth and or inexperience in relationships, but it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, but I am a little bit worried with Mackenzie's well-being. And so when does it come from being entertainment to being like detrimental to her health? You know what I mean? Because I don't feel as though America is going to be doing what she would hope that they would be. I think that they are going to try to break them up. Like, obviously, they've already put her on a date with Lauren, and she's like, "Why would America do that to me? Do they hate me?"
Yeah.
I think that would be the one thing that would get me. Like, I feel like I would be able to stand pretty strong in there, like, for whoever came in and out. But once America was voting against me, I would really start to kind of lose it.
Absolutely. And like,
I don't blame her for that. Like, I think that's why when I texted you before it even started the episode, I was just thinking about him. Like, how shitty would you feel if America like voted for your guy to go out with someone else because they think like you're that awful? Not that awful, but I mean, essentially.
Well, we just want him to be free. Free Connor. # free Connor.
Yeah.
Okay. So the horseback riding was episode 9. Moira is with Freckles right now in the hot tub, and there's 0.0 chemistry between them.
Yeah.
Basically.
Because he says he doesn't like PDA and he wants to take things slow.
But he's like leaning back even, and she's leaning forward, and it's like, it's not good.
It is not.
It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Well, if you want to fast forward a little bit, you can start watching a little bit of the I'd Pop That challenge, and so you can see the different thrustings that we might do a little bit.
There's only like 20 minutes left. It has to happen soon.
So Caleb thought he might have bruised something, which I kind of laughed. Trey, like, he was just everybody's just being very silly because it's just everybody's just thrusting so hard and like it's just such aggressive thrusting.
I thought it was hilarious though. I liked it better than the car wash challenge for sure.
It was very funny, 100%.
They're big balloons, like big.
Yeah,
It's really disturbing. Oh God. Oh my God! I can know this is
Calvin
right here.
There's a lot of pent up energy, so I thought it was really interesting that Calvin, who wants to take it slow, like it's just very clear at this point that he's not interested in Moira because he's like, oh, there's a lot of pent up energy in here that they're thrusting, and so he just is not into Moira. But like Moira with her knee like hopping over to like thrust, it's just too much.
But that's what I mean. Her knee can't be that bad if she has a brace off and she's attempting it.
No, she had a brace on.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I clocked that for sure. She definitely had a brace on.
Yeah,
At least
she has a brace on.
We heard that she fell or she popped her knee because she got a text and she made like a one pose and popped her knee. That's what Jaquan gave us the tea. Thanks, Jonathan.
He's still like mortified by the
balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they started playing another game. They started playing Never Have I Ever. And so if you don't do something, if you've done it.
This is me checking out.
After 5 drinks, you had to do a dare. So the dares were, obviously, Brazil's favorite was Never Have I Ever Sucked Any Toes.
For good reason. You don't need to be putting that in your mouth.
Well, I mean, he put like a little bit of like chocolate syrup on.
Nope.
He just like put the whole foot in there.
Even Sally was like, "This is disgusting." I'm like, "Yeah, good luck."
I mean, feet aren't like the greatest thing on the planet, but like a little toe sucking.
The thing too is that people don't take care of their feet very well.
No.
So it requires a lot of exfoliation. You're on them all the time. You want some good cream, and it's just not something that
anyone should have in their mouth. I agree.
I mean, yeah, it's for me. Do what you want to do. But it's gross, guys. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. You like sucking a third toe in, whatever you want, whatever's best for you.
I think Brazil, you need to experience it first before you can have a hard no. And you can't really knock something until you try it. That's going to be, you're being closed-minded right now.
Well, then Jonathan should go in a room of balloons by that same.
I have, and I hate them.
He's tried it.
Hate them.
All right. Well, no one's putting my foot in their mouth, and I'm not putting anyone's feet.
I mean, once you become like, all of a sudden, you're like, oh my god, I love it.
Don't worry, you'll be the first two that I tell, but don't wait up for it.
I mean, what if someone gave you $100,000 to suck on your toes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, I have a question though. Does it gross you out if it's done to you, or are you just doing it somewhere else? Because if someone wants to suck on my toe, I'm like, do whatever you want. That's whatever.
Either way,
think it's gonna do anything for me. But
I can't even get pedicures because my feet, I'm like so ticklish too. So like I like end up kicking the ladies like when I do get a pedicure. Or yeah, but
maybe
and my feet are honestly pretty cute, but I don't.
I like my feet are cute.
And I mean I have like small feet. I don't know.
I'm gonna psychoanalyze this. Not right now, but just
I can't be the only one. Please comment.
There's so many people that don't like feet. 100%.
Let's put out a poll.
Yeah.
I wish you could do a poll from here. I don't know if you can.
Pro toe sucking or not?
Keep on staying. So can't say free Connor anymore because he chose to stay with Mackenzie instead of going with Lauren. He decided to go deeper into the sunken place.
But if that's the safer move, because if he wasn't sure if like anyone else is into him, he knows that Moira is, so he can that's like kind of, well, she'll pick me next time, and then I can hold off for even more. You know, it's the safer move to stay there.
Definitely the safer move.
Yeah.
I think that he will only move on to someone else if it was like 100% and he knew that like A, he was vibing with them, and B, that they were going to be like a very strong couple. I don't think that he will take that risk for anything less. Calvin not interested into her because he wiped the kiss. Oh yeah, so they had a dare as well, and Calvin kisses Moira, and so like he was like, after he kind of had like a happy face a little bit afterwards. So you haven't seen it yet, Jonathan, but
is that the end of the episode where they're all kissing each other?
It's towards the end, yeah.
Like oh, there's the foot. Oh, there's the Calvin and Moira kiss. I mean, okay, it looks good. And then hold on, where was the wipe? I'm waiting. Oh, there it is.
How about
it was?
But like he kind of just like he's like it was lingering maybe a little bit.
I know, but he waited. He waited a good little bit to be like, I can't make this obvious, but I want to wipe this off. Okay. Yeah, he waited. He's not into her. Yeah, he was touching her face like this, like not touching it, and then like hold on, let me do it. And then
where'd you go, Jonathan? Wait, your sound's gone, Jonathan. You just disappeared for a second.
Sorry, my phone rang. And then it was like this, and it's like, no, if you want someone, you're gonna do this. You're gonna, have some passion.
So
not into her. Not into her.
1 to 10. 10 being he's like super into her, and 1 being like not at all. Where do you think he sits?
Oh, I think he's like 3.
3.
I mean 2.5.
Ooh.
Can we vote them in the hideaway? So that she'll know.
Speaking of, that was
basically what comes up next. So
yeah, wait, have Jonathan watch this.
Yeah, watch the end of this episode, basically.
Yeah, watch it right now.
So Lauren, wait, what happened? Lauren kisses Trey. She seems a little bit into it, but like I feel like she just like knows how to kiss. I don't know if she was that into it, and he kind of stopped it. It seemed like a little bit short. It looked like he was interested in kind of going on a little bit more, but she stopped that. How do you feel about Justine doing the kisses from the belly button to the ear on Caleb?
I can't, I'm giving her credit for at least like this is the first time we've seen Justine do anything like this. Like she wouldn't do any of that with Trey. So I'm gonna give her a crack on for whether or not she wants to try. I think she knows she has to try because it'll be the third guy that she's just kind of, flippant about. But she seems to be pretty all in on this one. So as cringy as it was,
gives the Moira and Calvin, or Calvin's interest in Moira, a solid 3.
I was gonna say 3 too.
Like body language is everything. Yeah, he's just not into her at all. And I don't even think she's necessarily that into him either. But she's kind of like she made her selection and she was hoping that. I mean,
she can't really do any challenges or like really do anything to kind of, if a new guy did come in, she would just be either sitting on the sideline or.
She should have really kind of got the hint when he was like, "You look pretty without makeup." Thanks, bud. Like that's the compliment you're giving me. I don't know.
Yeah, and he did promise to be her crutch, and now he's just letting her hang. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he just wanted to stay in the villa. I'm agreeing with all y'all. She wanted something to say about California. What was this? Johnny's still in school, I think, but his sister's moving to California, so Johnny and Sally could work on the outside. Okay. He's from Virginia, you said?
Yeah.
So that's pretty far. That's at least like a 4.5 hour flight, right?
It's about 3,000 miles apart, I think.
So yeah, 5 hour flight for sure.
It's as far. I think it's equidistant from California to Virginia and California to New York. Maybe New York's a little bit farther, but
so five hours or so is my guess.
Yeah, it took me like 4.5 hours to get to Chicago,
and that's right above it, I think. Okay, so I guess it could work. You can make anything work when you want to.
Anything, yeah. If they want it to work, it'll work.
And like,
California's far better anyway. Come on over.
I mean, my dad used to have a place on Newport Beach, and so I did grow up over in your neck of the woods, And we talked about this before, I think. And so,
yes. Come on over, Johnny. You could be
every summer I used to be on Newport Beach. And
things don't work out with Sally. I'm your girl.
What are you watching, Jonathan? Jonathan?
Oh, my animal's getting into stuff. Don't worry about me.
It sounds like so intense. Like it's like a murder mystery movie or something.
So did you see the end of the episode, Jonathan?
I mean, no, with no dialogue, but
okay. So basically, Connor gets a text. So they had to choose a couple to go into the hideaway, and Mackenzie just assumed that it was going to be her. And then Moira was like, oh, well, like, can we maybe vote on it? And Jonathan, where'd you go? Bye.
Oh, Jonathan. Yeah, that was I think the cringiest part of the whole episode.
But she was just like, and then who else there was somebody else that was considering that maybe wanted to go in there as well. Who was it?
Kirsten?
Yeah. Maybe Kirsten and Carrington just like, yeah, like maybe we should vote. And Mackenzie was just fuming.
She's like, okay, come on, let's go. And she like jumped up and like grabbed his hand. And I was like, girl, like, why do you automatically assume it's you two? You're not Johnny and Sally.
Not Johnny and Sally. Like maybe even Johnny and Sally a second time. Like
before Caleb and Mackenzie, absolutely.
Absolutely. What's this one? When Calvin told Caleb he's interested to meet other girls, even Caleb seemed shocked.
Because I don't see anyone coming in that's going to be interested in Calvin, if I'm being completely honest.
He has no chutzpah, He doesn't have any, like...
He looks like he would be, like, my friend that I would be trying to get on dates, and, like, it just...
Exactly.
Like, I don't see him as attractive. I don't see him...
Justine? Wait, are you saying... Okay, Quad, are you saying that Justine should be dating Calvin?
Rylan agrees.
Or maybe he was saying that Justine was the one that, hi, Rylan, little cutie.
Who's your favorite?
Chantele.
Oh, I think you're right.
Oh, the lighting on him. But no, I think he's saying Justine was like, "What the f," about wanting to go into the.
Yeah, it's kind of like so. Yeah, at the end of the episode, before you decide to take a little siesta, so she was. They got Connor gets a text, and it was like, whoever wants to go to the hideaway, like go to your favorite couple, whatever. And Mackenzie just was like with Connor, like, okay, let's go. And everybody else was like, Moira especially was like maybe we should vote on it. And other people were like, he was saying, Connor was saying, Justine also was like, what the F? Like, why do you get to go into the hideaway kind of attitude? And so what are your thoughts of the drama that might be caused there? Because Mackenzie wants to go into the hideaway and the other couples might not let it happen.
I love that they're turning on each other.
Mackenzie,
like anything to like get them
not.
to fight. Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm happy that they're not just letting Mackenzie run away with that.
Absolutely. And probably Connor's like,
please save me from the hideaway.
I don't know if you saw the episode or not, but when Connor was on a date with Lauren, he's like, are you okay? Do you need to escape? Blink twice.
No, she even said that they'd have like code signals, like for if he needs to be pulled away from her. Yeah.
Double blink. Double wink. Connor seems embarrassed at the moment. Of course it's embarrassing. Like, everybody knows that you hate her except for her. Justine said something about Mackenzie at the end. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I don't know what she said, though. I don't remember. But I'm excited for Sunday night's episode.
Hopefully we get to see Moira pop her knee.
Pop that knee.
Like last week's?
No, I hope maybe they'll show it this week. I don't know.
Jonathan, what else do you talk about this episode or this series so far? So let's see, what else is interesting that maybe we can talk about with you here? Is there anything else you want to bring to the table?
I came ill prepared, so no, I mean, I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more competition involved in it though, where they were able to like win things, like and then you can see them like, what if you like won the ability to be in the hideaway and you got to like, it's just, I don't know, just a little something to like kind of. I like a little friction.
I think they have done stuff like that before in the UK.
I think so too.
I just need it brought to like, yeah, I just need it brought here. So that they can kind of make it a little bit more, so we can kind of see who's like fighting for it and who wants what, you know, it's a little bit more kind of evident.
Yeah.
So I would love to see some of that kind of stuff infused in it, and I think that could easily be done. So
do you think that anybody will be coming into the villa wanting Calvin?
I think that they know that they could like potentially win him over. So yeah, I absolutely think that. And I kind of, what I like about the show too is that when people kind of, in my opinion, get their just desserts. So if someone's like, and I'm not saying Moira did this, but I'm just saying if someone's stringing someone along, or if they, you know, really harshly kind of just dump someone, and then, you know, something along those lines, there is the opportunity for it to kind of happen back to them. And I love when that happens.
So in that vein, then, what do you think? I don't think we asked you this yet about how Justine went about getting. Did you see the whole car wash?
No, I saw some of it, but I have to like rewatch that.
So basically, what happens is they had to like pour water on themselves, slide down a slip and slide, do some slutty dancing at the bottom of the slide, then go through the bristle brushes, sexy, and then get hosed down by the guy at the car. And then they have in the beginning, they have to pick which guy they want to kiss at the end. And so without any notice, Justine does this and kisses Caleb without kind of informing or letting Rachel know, and or Trey even know that she was planning on doing that. And so all the guys were like, you know, just like joking around and like giving them massages, like when like Justine was up to do it. And like then she chose Trey. and she chose Caleb, and Trey was like actually like, and everyone's like, and so they kind of started a little bit of a drama, obviously. And
I like Trey a lot too.
In the end, Caleb chose Justine, and Rachel went home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess. Whatever.
Do you agree with that move? Do you think that she should have said something?
I just think, like, do what you. I don't know. I think there's people here who are just kind of playing the game, and people who are just having fun, and people here who are, looking for maybe the potential of someone to date. So, who knows what their intentions are, and if you kind of do what you want to do. I think they're having fun, and you don't owe anybody anything at the same time, but just try not to play with people's emotions.
Well, we disagree with you. We think that she should have at least told her girl that she was going to go after her man.
How long have they been friends for? 2 weeks?
But still, I think I don't know.
2 days.
If I was playing an org with you, and we made a promise, and then I went in and lied to you, would you be pissed after 2 weeks? Yes, you would.
I'd be pissed after 2 hours, but but I don't have that emotional maturity. But no. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the nicer thing to do and like the more appropriate thing to do. But I mean, if you walk into something like this and you're like, hey, it's a TV show, they want the drama, they want us to have fun, they're probably encouraging it. I mean, I can forgive that. Mm-hmm. There's a difference to me.
Well, we're saying that we're going to maybe forgive it. We'll see what happens. It hasn't seemed like they've got a connection yet. Hopefully it will be worth it, but I don't really see anything going between Caleb and Justine. It just doesn't seem like it's happening. Did you know that Carrington gave Jeremiah his bracelet when we left? Isn't that sweet, this brotherhood? I did not.
Really in his feels when Jeremiah left.
He was like upset. I know with the fan vote, someone or a couple is most likely going home, but I think the girls have the next pick. Yes, the girls do have the next pick.
Who knows what Justine will do? Maybe she'll pick Johnny.
She get her hands off of Johnny. That is not the move. That is not the move.
All over the place.
Anything else you want to add, Jonathan?
I need to catch up, apparently.
It's like I haven't watched any episodes.
It's like on like 90 times a week, right? So
yeah,
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's a lot.
Sunday this week too.
That's more than soap operas. That's a big commitment. And
not more than soap operas. It's the same 5 days, and one is an recap episode.
Recap. Oh, okay.
Sometimes if they miss a day, then they'll do a 2-hour episode.
You know what?
Shoot.
Days of Our Lives comes first. I'm sorry. I know that's not reality, but
I used to love Days of Our Lives and YNR. I watched many years of both. So
I got into it during quarantine again. Got back into it. So.
Did you go back and like watch like 10 years worth of Days of Our Lives?
No, it's all the same people. And then I just wikied. The first like couple weeks, I was like, who are you? And then I'd like Wikipedia and the storylines and now I'm like fully, I think, I can tell which characters are which, and yeah.
How's
Marlena? To watch General Hospital. So
Marlena is the Janelle of Days of Our Lives.
Do you know she's an identical twin sister in real life?
Who played oh god, what's her name? Maddie? No, what's her name? Yeah, she played her not her twin, but her lookalike on the show for many years. But they looked very Hattie's her name. But they looked very different now. So Marlene actually plays that role when she comes back, which she was back a couple months ago.
Yes,
I know about this.
Behind the scenes, okay, Quan. I'm going to watch behind the scenes in 9 minutes. I'm going to do it, unless it came on at 8 and I didn't know.
I have to wait 3 hours.
Sorry.
And 9 minutes.
I'm kind of interested in going back and watching Days of Our Lives. I was more of like Days of Our Lives when I was younger, and then I started watching What do we call it? When I got older, Young and the Restless. I had a crush on obviously Shamar Moore. Then, now,
Yeah, Days of Our Lives, I mean, like, is just, I don't know, it was always part of my life when Marlena was possessed and on Hyver Island. And then poor, like, Stefano, the actor who plays him, is dead now, but you see him all the time because they have a painting of him, like a portrait in the Demera Mansion, and they often talk to it. I'm like, I think that just goes to show how important he was to the show, that even beyond death he's still involved, and like immensely, and all his kids and descendants and stuff like that are all the bad ones that are involved. What's that?
How's John Black?
John's with Marlena. I mean, they were
What about Hope?
he was kidnapped again this summer, as was she, but they both came back to each other. And Hope was Princess Gina again earlier this year, but she's back because Dr. Rolf fixed her.
Man, I remember though, I was very invested in that storyline when she was like missing.
Yeah, and then but they killed off Bo a couple years ago, and so I don't like that. And they killed off Lexi, and I don't like that either because I like Lexi.
Dr. Lexi Carver.
Yeah, died of cancer.
And what about Abe? I can't remember.
He was blind for a while, got his eyesight back.
Yeah, this is too much.
And now he's the mayor. And his illegitimate daughter is like has had about 5 careers, like an FBI agent, this, that. I think she's a cop right now. She came back into town this summer because she was as a nun, but a fake nun, because she took off last year because anyway someone was blackmailing her. Anyway, it's a whole long thing. We could have a 10-hour podcast about Days of Our Lives, but it's not reality, so moving on. Jaquan doesn't want to hear about Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, not at all. How long do you think that Trey is going to wait to tell Kirsten about his secret crush?
He told her today.
I do not think that he's going to wait long at all.
He already told her.
Yeah, I think it's already happened. I think we'll see it on Sunday. I think we'll see him have a little chat with Kirsten, and then I also think that Lauren is going to have a chat with Carrington same episode. I think both of that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's stimulated by whatever this vote that happens is. So if they're like the bottom couples, like maybe then they're going to, the 4 bottom couples, if we're correct, being Carrington, Kirsten, whatever, what's her name, Lauren and Trey, bottom couples, and they're both at risk for being voted out of the villa. So then maybe they all just have to shuffle up and get to know each other, and then they have to choose one guy and one girl to stay in the villa. And so basically they'll be choosing a couple to stay. That's
so maybe Jaquan's right. They'll bring one boy, one girl
into it. So they'll be like, but are they going to resolve the this vote?
I don't know, because they always need one. Stop. They always need extra people.
So then we can still do what I'm suggesting, being that the 2 bottom couples will be at risk for being kicked out of the villa. And then they bring maybe a guy and the girl. So there'll be 6 people kind of at risk in the villa. And maybe then
they do it at the beginning of the episode and then bring the guy and girl in right after. So we have a full episode of them.
Fine, but like I never understand why they kick somebody else out before they bring in somebody new. You know what I mean? Like they might have a connection with the person that's coming in.
Maybe to resolve it, like you said, and then more people.
But yeah, Jaquan, we think that he's going to tell her, like already, like it's happening very, very quickly.
Agreed.
I think he wants to get in there. Is he licking your ear? Do you have peanut butter in your ear or something?
I'm sorry. He's a pain in the butt. He's so all over the place. And now he's going to bark at the front door. So it happens.
Like, why'd you order more food?
No, I'm starving myself today. That was too much yesterday.
Well, Jaquan, do you have any last questions? Because I'm going to sign off so we can watch these behind the scenes and see if we can find out what exactly happened to Moira. Get the shot. Whatever. Well, where can people find you online, Brazil, if they're looking?
At BabyZill on Instagram.
Cool beans. And Jonathan, obviously we have the Oliveira.
Yeah, I put my Twitter up because I check it the least. So
perfect. And if you're looking for me online, you can find me at Reality Realness with 3 S's or at Fran. There's all a ton of other places you can find me, but those 2 places you can find probably links to everywhere else. So unless you guys have anything else to say, nope. Well, make sure you subscribe right down below, hit that like button or ring that bell so every time we go live, you will be notified. Other than set your little bell. Ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Right, you'll be notified. So we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow to recap. Or maybe on Monday to recap in episode 1. I don't know.
We'll see how good the recap is.
Yeah, we'll see how good it is. Perfect. Well, maybe we'll do a game. Let's figure out a game for the recap episode. That could be fun.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.